77 WABC and Bergen Newbridge Medical Center honor the life of legendary broadcaster and our friend, Ernie Anastas.
Hi, it's Ernie Anastas. You know, your thoughts can affect how you feel. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is the largest hospital in New Jersey, providing comprehensive, equitable, compassionate, and high-quality emergency inpatient and outpatient medical care, plus mental health services and substance use disorder treatment. The Bergen Newbridge team can address your total health needs in one convenient location. Call 201-225-7130 for an appointment or newbridgehealth.org.
Very scary situation in New York City where this crazy lunatic guy with a criminal history, he had just gotten out of a psych ward hours earlier. He was acting erratically, apparently on the streets, and the NYPD was called in. And then they brought this guy to a psych ward, Ramil Burke, a repeat offender with a whole bunch of violent criminal attacks in his past. And they took him to this mental hospital. And guess what? He got released about an hour later, 1 hour later. And then several hours later, he pushes an 83-year-old veteran down the stairs. You see this footage? It is so heartbreaking to see. You see him huge shove. This guy is walking down the stairs of a subway stop. It's about 9:30 at night, just minding his own business. He's a retired teacher. And suddenly this guy comes upon him and pummels him, knocks him to the ground. He has obviously very serious injuries to his neck and his head and dies soon afterwards. And this guy was clearly a repeat offender with a criminal history. And this is really shocking. This guy also was responsible for several attacks on the subway just a few weeks before. And there was a woman who was pushed by him a few weeks before and said she didn't want to complain about him because, get this, she did not want to put another black man behind bars. You heard it right. She didn't want to report it to authorities because of some crazy, woke, liberal, nutty policy. She didn't want to put a black man behind bars. Now she says she obviously regrets that because she's realizing clearly he was a violent individual, which obviously if he shoved her 5 weeks ago, anyone would have figured it out. I mean, there are so many problems here, but here's a Fox News report on this man who is now accused of murdering a beloved retired teacher.
A terrible story, and right now this family of the 76-year-old is planning a funeral after he was shoved right down the subway steps in New York City behind me as he was just trying to get home. And listen to this. The guy who did it, according to police, was just released from the psych ward hours before police had just picked him up. Take a look here on your screen. It actually made the cover of the New York Post over the weekend because he's grinning at the judge as they go through the long list of charges against him here. They're naming it there on the Post, Killer Smile. He's charged with the murder of this man, Ross Falzone, after police say Burke shoved the retired teacher down the subway steps on Thursday night. And surveillance video actually captured the moment of the attack. I want to warn you, it's graphic here. You can see Falzone pushed with a lot of force, so he froze the clip right before impact. He was left with both severe brain and neck injuries and later died at a local hospital. Investigators say Burke was released from a mental hospital in New York just hours before the latest attack, brought in for a psychiatric evaluation and hold after police here saw him acting erratically, so they picked him up and brought him in. But he was back out in the street, Bill, within 1 hour. 1 hour. He was out so fast that sources tell me he actually still had his hospital wristband on when he was arrested for murder. This case, one of 4 murders on the subway system just so far this year. Back in March, you might remember this story. This 83-year-old veteran on his way home was killed, shoved onto the subway tracks. NYPD data shows subway murders are up by 300% already compared to last year. Back out here live, we can tell you we're learning more about Burke's criminal history. Just the other week, Bill, investigators tell me he assaulted 2 people on the subway. But when they tried to talk to those people, they said they didn't want to cooperate with police because they didn't want to put another black man behind bars. Now the girl tells the New York Post she wished she would have cooperated because he wouldn't be out on the street, Bill.
That is absolutely disgusting. The girl who didn't want to report it. And then what about the judge who let this guy out? And then there he is grinning. That's on a prior offense. And then this current one, he's grinning. So, I mean, get that smirk off your face. I mean, that to me is just disgusting. The guy has no clue. Apparently, by the way, he used to be like a Broadway performer. It's pretty scary stuff. And then he goes to the psych ward, he gets out, and then he does this to this beloved, apparently very wonderful man, this former teacher. How sad and what a despicable, horrible thing that this man did. And there he is smirking. Oh, my God. I don't know what I would say. If I was a judge and I saw that guy smirk, I'd say, okay, let's add another 10 years. You know, I wish there was more than just life in prison in New York. Let's just put it that way.
Roger Stone here. Your dollars are losing ground, but gold isn't. American Sovereign Bullion helps you protect your wealth through real, tangible assets. Through their nationwide wholesaler network, you get some of the best pricing on gold and silver delivered straight to your door. Since 1912, the U.S. dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to prove its strength. So call 844-272-2428. That's 844-272-2428. Or visit dyingdollar.com to request your free gold and silver guide. That's dyingdollar.com.